Okay, hello everybody. You can see today's date by this video picture of my celly phone. December 2015. Today's date is the 4th of December. Now, fellow American citizens, pay close attention to my statements because shit is hitting the fan, and please excuse my language. Hold on. Now, I have a feeling you're going to see me just a little bit blurry, and that's because this video camera that I got, I can't really afford right now to buy another one. I got two. But I'm having to really watch my pennies considering the fact that this organized stalking, stupid-ass gang stalking expedition is still occurring towards me, and it's escalating on a feverish scale. So this is an update video. I'm going to also make a hurry-up fast statement so you can go to Google, so you can immediately see that I am a victim of this crime and what's happening to me, what it's about, who's involved, the places that have been involved. Hold on. Now there's going to be a little bit of noise in the background, okay, because of traffic, because of where I came to make this video at, so just ignore it. Go to Google and type in UCSD and Law Library. Are they networking gang stalking? Okay. Now, as a result of this expedition escalating towards me on a feverish scale, it really started picking up in August. There were some incidences that occurred, property theft in May. And what they're doing right now, I literally predicted, okay, in hundreds of audio files, massive amounts of YouTube videos. When you go into that blog and you start looking at my videos, you're going to notice that some of my videos are dedicated to separate YouTube accounts. So to be able to see how long this has been going on towards me, but in these different YouTube accounts, and I apologize for this, but I was trying to play hopscotch with them to try and shake them off my tail on the internet, and I obviously didn't think it through very well, because I thought to myself, well, they're stalking me on this one, and then stalking me on this one, and then stalking me on this one. I'm sure they're going to continue to stalk me on the other ones. I still gave it my best shot, though. Anyways, this all occurred at, but not limited to, UCSD Biomedical Library, UCSD Geisel Library, SDSU Love Library, the North University San Diego Public Library, two other libraries in San Diego, and the Law Library downtown. Now, fellow American citizens, just stay with me and you'll understand what I'm leading up to. In fact, I'm not exactly sure, well, hang on, I'm having a cognitive reset. Okay, yeah. This expedition has picked up on a feverish scale ever since the August 9, 2015 ticket I got in Rose Canyon, even though the park ranger flat out openly admitted right on video that it was staged. Okay, that video's in the blog. Okay, I still had to deal with court pertaining to the ticket I got from that event. You would not believe, you just would not believe what the shit that I put up with from the public defender's office, the prosecutor's office, okay, and the absolute in-your-face, absolute gang stalking of me, even in courtrooms, pertaining to this ticket. Now, a lot of stuff has happened in the past 10 to 12 days, okay? So what I did was I went into that blog. Now, pay attention to this too, and then I'll get back to that in a second. The way I have been composing that blog is kind of like posting evidence in it, correlating so you can see how the evidence was predicted beforehand. You can also see who's involved in it. Always cross-reference dates to like video predictions or videos that have predictions in it, and also videos that have my statements in it pertaining to what I'm saying is happening towards me. When you look at, because not all my videos have my cell phone, that's why I show you my cell phone in my videos, so I can isolate the date. Because I make prediction videos, and then if what I predict comes true, it'll show that I'm, well, the blog already shows I'm being illegally and criminally tracked, cell phone, even when it's off, okay? It was completely frozen on the day of the November 30th event, which just happened 4 days ago. And it was frozen on the 2nd of December when I got assaulted at the VA San Diego, when there's a bus hub there, a place where you go and wait for the buses at. And I've been gang stalked on their property every time I go there, waiting for buses. People walking by and saying, "Suck my dick, gang stalk, oh my god." And I never really bothered to look up the VA and gang stalk in San Diego, because I only went inside a couple times to check out their cafeteria, maybe see if I could use Wi-Fi, and that was it over the past few years. And I figured, why make the VA so special, okay, when I'm very rarely there, even to catch buses. I'm not a veteran, and I've never been in the military, but they got a bus hub there that you can, if you got to catch one bus that doesn't really run too much in the area, okay, but yet though that bus will pick up from the VA, you can take another bus to get to the VA, so you can catch that bus, and that was the reason why I went. Now, understand, please. So I got assaulted on December 2nd, 2015, about 30 feet away from the bus hub where veterans will go to stand or sit and smoke cigarettes, because you can only smoke at a certain spot over there. And I had been harassed and gang stalked at that spot as well every single time I went to the VA and walked over there myself to have a cigarette. So I got assaulted. That assault took place within 45 minutes to an hour after the first prediction at a separate location that I made in a tape recorder, and within about 15-20 minutes, okay, I made another prediction in the tape recorder before I arrived at the VA. I get off the bus, I walk over to have a cigarette, I sit down, and within 5 minutes the guy walks up to me and starts hassling me and then assaults me. Yeah, this is a staged event. There's also another peculiar individual sitting in a car right there. See, because these little filthy red-ass animal whores, well, what they'll do is, through observers who will not gaslight you, people who will just act like average citizens going about their day, what they'll do is they'll observe your habits, your you know, what you do when you're at a certain spot, where you know where you might go, like if I go to a library, where I might sit, what I might do there. And what they basically do is just choreograph the information and say, okay, well, we know she's been to the VA before. We've even seen her videos online concerning her making videos right by that absolute area not too long ago. Okay, so the point being is that basically what they do is they just take notes concerning how you behave, where you go, what you do when you go there, where you sit at, and then just prop up this organized stalking harassment around me, concerning me, for me to experience either verbal harassment, in my face direct harassment, assault, staged arrest, staged tickets based on staged events. They will do anything and everything in order to keep you mentally preoccupied with the fact that you're a target victim of this crime, using different people every day. Mostly, I'd say 99% of the people who are harassing me every day are people that have not harassed me before. Well, no, actually, I'd say about 98%, maybe 97%. Okay, and when I say that, I mean that when I'm out and about in the community, like walking to bus stops or riding my bike to bus stops, bus routes. When I'm at Ross Grocery Store, I'm harassed by their management, employees, and individuals coming in acting as customers. And you would not believe how bad it can get at Ross. I mean, it's bad. Just as bad as it was at SDSU and UCSD. And it's the same exact identical 2AT verbal harassment. So, if you ever see me in Rouse and you see me acting verbally very nice to these people, it's part of my strategy. And I don't have time to explain that right now, just trust me. I know what I'm talking about. I've actually even caught evidence and confessions by selectively, okay, knowing who to be nice to, knowing who to be a little bit friendly to, okay, and I've caught confessions that way. And trust me, I don't do it with people that are on the street, absolutely, including homeless people, who are another type of people that they're using towards me, including at areas I go to rest at, areas I go to be by myself at, and where I might be hiking at to sleep at. Now, these are also nothing but propped up staged events. It's done to induce and bring about extreme mental duress, assaults, robberies, even rapes, okay, of anything that I'm carrying and or in my pockets, and my bike as well. Now, fellow American citizens, when you go to that blog, if you're an active viewer, which means that if you're watching what's happening to me in real time by paying attention to the blog regularly, I apologize that blog has not been completely put together the way I wanted it to. Understand, some paragraphs are added to later, so if you read the blog and you say, well, okay, I already looked at that paragraph, reread it, because they are added to. Paragraphs are added to. They're also going into that blog and screwing with the spelling. And they do that because when you try to read the blog and you think, I can't understand this word and this word is affecting how I'm understanding the following sentences, that's what they're doing and why they're doing it. It's a little tactic of this crime. So I apologize for that. I try to do spell checking when I can. Let's see what else. Now, as a result of things escalating, which I knew they would once they banned me from UCSD, they sent me a letter banning me from UCSD, not giving me one reason why, telling me that if I come back on campus that I would be arrested, that the police will be called, that I'll be arrested and charged with trespassing and hit with big fines. Yet they gave me absolutely no reason whatsoever in the letter, even though I got massive amounts of indisputable evidence of being gang-stalked all over that filthy criminal campus, okay, every time I went there. Absolutely. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to explain a little bit about concerning, see, now I made a lot of videos. Some of those videos are in the blog, some are not, okay, but what they're doing. Okay, I'm going to reiterate some things I've said in some of my YouTube videos. So if you've already heard this part of it before, well, I gotta kind of like regurgitate it for first-time viewers. Basically, I said to myself in hundreds of tape recorders and video files, what this crime is about. Hold on. The criminal motivation of why women are picked, even though men are absolutely also victims of this crime as well. 70% of targeted individuals are women. Human trafficking is absolutely directly connected to these criminal realities. And make no mistake about it, fellow American citizens, if I told you to your face the absolute truth of what I have put up with from my current public defender, okay, because that bullshit attached to the Rose Canyon ain't completely over yet. She's a criminal. She's nothing but a lying criminal, okay? Absolutely. You know, let me just put it to you this way. I had videos that I was publishing way back in 2012, 13, before the Thanksgiving event occurred, which I'm going to play in this video. And I was literally stating what I was putting up with at a specific hiking area. I made hundreds and hundreds of videos, at least 2 every day. Posting them to the internet as soon as I could, most of them within a day or 2 after they were made. And every single thing that I've stated in those videos, well, in reference to the harassment, has come true and proven, showing that I was telling the truth all along. Hold on. I gotta find my lighter. Hold on. Now, I apologize for laughing a little bit, but I think that's just my way of shrugging off and shaking off the trauma that I'm dealing with on a daily basis. You would not believe, you just would not believe what I know. You would not believe what's happening to me. You just would not believe what has happened to me, and you would not believe who's involved. Fellow American citizens, what I'm basically trying to tell you is this as well. When you go to that blog, so what I decided to do as a result of this campaign escalating towards me, I've had to move again. Do you have any idea what is involved in the moving when you're camping, especially when you're a victim of this crime? Okay, you gotta not only try and find a spot, but you gotta also make sure that the spot is at least safe enough for you to at least spend one night there. Then you gotta look, and then if you decide to spend more than one night there, or go find another spot and then come back to that spot and just kind of like rotate spots, you gotta find areas to hide your stuff. And then you're constantly worried about it being stolen by these filthy rats when you're gone, because they've literally anchored the ideas in your mind that it would be stolen by propping individuals up around you to say, "Gangstalk, why don't you go and steal her stuff? Gangstalk, why don't you come and steal her stuff? Gangstalk, crazy. Gangstalk, suck my dick. Gangstalk, oh my God." Now, I suggest you go to that blog and see who has been caught saying these things. Absolutely. Fellow American citizens, my name is Leslie Williams. So what I decided to do as a result of, you just would not see, because causing a targeted individual to move from spot to spot to spot to spot is done for multiple reasons. It's done so they can try and log how long you've been homeless. I literally talked I talked to one man over by Friars and Fresno Road, and he said he's been homeless in San Diego for 20 years. Yet they're targeting me like you would not believe. I suggest you go to downtown San Diego and spend 5 hours downtown walking the streets and riding a bike, driving your car. Look at how many homeless people are down there. Look at all the stuff they got. Even in front of the courthouse. Even in front of City Hall. Even in front of the building where the filthy rat-ass district attorney's office is at. They're literally congregated behind there and in front of there every day. Every day. You know, fellow American citizens, what I am trying to tell you, what I am trying to expose to you through the blog and my YouTube videos, I also have a Twitter account. A lot of pasted tweets from Twitter have been put in that blog, so when you open those up, including how Snap screenshotted pictures of tweets have been also put in there through Instagram. When you open up an Instagram and you see that it's a tweet, look at the tweet handle, and that's how you know who I am on Twitter. Now, fellow American citizens, let me light this cigarette real fast. What I'm basically telling, I'm a human trafficking target, but much more. I'm also a racketeering target, and much more, as a result of being a victim of this crime. Organized stalking, gang stalking is nothing but a massive nationwide campaign up and operating in every state, county, city, and local government. Absolutely. And it's got tentacles out within the community as well. Institutions, libraries, businesses. Oh my God, you would not believe the gang stalking I'm putting up within businesses. You just would not believe it. Hold on. Now, when you go to that blog and you see how many different places that I've been gang stalked to, and what's in that blog is not even 0.001% of the evidence I have. Okay, so your mouth's going to drop just concerning that, because there's a massive amount of evidence in it. The point being is, well, for one, deduce this. How can these individuals know where I am at in real time at all times in order to prop up this crafted, identical to a T, verbal harassment for me to experience by the persons that are propping up along my path every day if I wasn't being tracked in real time? There's no way. Think about that very carefully. The harassment is completely identical to a T. It is experienced by me every day, everywhere I go. Okay? Sometimes non-stop. Okay? Now, I could go to 5 places in one day and my tape recorder will catch it being said around me at every 5 places and on all transportation routes getting to each one of these places. The only way that could be occurring is that I'm being illegally GPS tracked, because I walk down the street and nobody is on the street walking or anything, yet people go by me in cars and will gaslight me with gang stalking physical gestures. So go to that blog and you'll see what's going on. Okay? So there's no way that anybody could be like walking behind me and on their phone saying she's going in this direction. It's my phone they're tracking. And I can't get rid of my phones because I need them to call 911, even though a filthy, organized stalking, let me just put it to you this way, the organized crime in the system that is perpetrating these criminal realities they're attached to the police. Since my cell phone's hacked, they know when I'm calling 911, so they make sure that call gets directed to the appropriate police officers. Make no mistake about it. So you can go to Google and type in police and gang stalking, even police dispatchers and gang stalking. And look at what comes up, baby cakes. Absolutely. So, do you really honestly think that I am not being gang stalked to the areas I go to rest at? The areas I might go to sleep at? The areas I might go to be by myself at? They made me homeless, and that's the reason why I am homeless. Google that and cross-reference it to gang stalking, concerning how they create the homelessness of targeted individuals. Hold on. I apologize for smoking. I hate smoking on camera because I don't have any upper teeth, and it's not very, doesn't look too good. Alright, hold on a second. I am so shy when it comes to videos. Alright, so now that I showed you the, I'll get back to what I was stating in a minute, but what I'm going to do as well in this video is I'm going to play you some Instagram audios. I played these in a huge amount of my videos, but just in case you're a first-time viewer, okay, I think it's essential that you immediately see that I am a victim of this crime, so you don't think that any targeted individuals might be crazy or whatever. So, I will show you some evidence in this video. Hold on 1 second. Now, the point I am going to also make in this video is this. See, what this is about in part as well is also illegal syndicated probate control. Let me give you an example about how this shit works. These filthy rats will make you homeless. They will then, through the GPS tracking, have you periodically assaulted, even robbed. They can set you up to be arrested for illegal lodging or trespassing if you go to a place to sit, to be by yourself, a place to sleep at, or a place to just physically rest at. Through the GPS tracking, they know where you're at. They can bring any type of homeless person, drug addict, alcoholic up in here. And what they do is, since it's a staged event, what they do is they tell these people how to act and what to say. And what to do. And what not to do. What not to say. Hold on. Even though I have caught some people off guard. Because you could also look at it this way. If every single person that they're using knew the entire scope, okay, or even a good portion of the scope about what the people are involved in that are using them, they probably would say no. This is one of the reasons why homeless men and drug addicts and alcoholics are used, because they don't have anything. They're easily bought off. A lot of them are lowlifes. Yeah, and I'm not just talking about somebody who's got a problem and doesn't want to have it. I'm talking about actual just lowlifes. Okay, hold on. You know, bums. I don't mean bums, because I have nothing against homeless people. The point I'm trying to make is this. There are criminals out there that are homeless. Now, these people that are managing this shit in the system know this. But let me give you an example about how this works for them. See, there's a lot of places like charities, churches, self-help groups, homeless shelters, domestic violence shelters, even other types of services for the homeless that these syndicate members are involved in, or the individuals who are managing this shit from the system can gain access to. They will then try and find out who might better fit the profile pertaining to their type of personality to be easily used. Go to YouTube and type in "listen to a stranger." That video from the beginning to the very end, absolutely, okay, is a video about how GangStalking can operates in part, concerning how easy it is to use anybody, including listening to a stranger. Okay, so just watch that and come back to this, or watch it afterwards. The point being is that when they use homeless people, criminals, punks, bums, okay, and when I mean by bums, I mean just people who are down and out, who also don't really care about what they do to people, or who are so down and out that they will do it, maybe not really want to, but will do it in order to get something. Because these filthy rats that are in the system are connected to homeless shelters, self-help groups, domestic violence shelters, women's shelters, and food banks and stuff like that. So the syndicate will pay them off with the assets dedicated to these places, even if the help is temporarily. That way the syndicate doesn't lose any money in reference to how they're doing all these different things to a target, okay, in order to assist them in breaking the target down. Okay, so they can easily, through the GPS tracking of me, which that blog absolutely proves I am being, oh my God, you would not believe, just go to that blog, just trust me. So, when you witness what's in that blog and you see that the fact that I am being gang stalked and GPS tracked, you really believe that they're not doing this towards me at areas I go to be by myself at or sleep at. Okay, absolutely. Now, how the syndicate makes this work for them is because what they do is throughout the years, hold on, they create the homelessness, okay, and then they keep it covertly managed by making sure you're tracked in real time, your phone included, okay. If I went to go apply for tenancy at an apartment, they'd either let me get it, so, because I've talked about this in YouTube videos as well, they'd wait until they'd let you get it, and this is done for multiple reasons. 1, to get you to go through your money. 2, to have you massively gang stalked there. 3, to set up an incident or a staged event working behind the scenes with a landlord and or property owner and even fellow tenants, okay, to bring about the causation of either completely psychologically motivating you to leave, or propping up staged incidences and using that as a normal apparent excuse to evict you. Or they'll do something to the apartment to make it uninhabitable. okay, and then just use a syndicated handyman to fix it, okay, more than likely with property that's been confiscated from other targets or property owners that they've screwed. Absolutely, make no mistake about this. I know exactly what I'm talking about. So to create the homelessness, and so if I got another apartment, if I went to apply for an apartment and they'd say, okay, well, we want her to get it so she'd lose it because she's attached to social services. I get food stamps, 16 bucks a month. And sometimes I even forget to use the card, okay? So what they'll do is they'll say, okay, well, we got to have it on paper that she's got a place, she loses it, she's homeless for 4 years, and she gets a place, she's there for 6 months or a year, she loses it, she's homeless again. Hold on. Now the reason why they do this is because because you can go to Google and type in social services workers and gang stalking, because whenever you're a client through social services for health insurance, if you're on disability, they'll pay your Medicare premiums and you might qualify for some food stamps. So what they will do, okay, when you got to fill out all these forms for these benefits, they keep track. In order for them to know how much they got to give you for food stamps, they got to look at how much money you bring in, Social Security, and then they look at your living situation, because then if you're paying rent, they then consider that a bill, therefore you get more food stamps. So they want to know where you're living. If you're homeless, you tell them that, and then they say, okay, well, if you don't have any income, then you're eligible for maybe $150, $200. If you do have an income like Social Security, they'll see if you still are eligible for any. Okay, but with the point the reason why I'm bringing all this up, because I gotta explain to you how this shit works. Excuse my language. See, documentation is used eventually for the probate control, which is why they make you homeless. And here's how it works. They make you homeless, okay, and then whether you know what's happening to you yet as a gang stalking or not, you think to yourself, I can't be homeless, I better go get another place. So you go and you get another place, or try, and they can see where you're going through tracking you. They wait till you leave, and then will employ the methods in part that are somewhat described, and they'll listen to a stranger YouTube video. They'll create fake, bogus criminal investigation files about the target, approach the target with a badge, and say, you can't rent to this person, they're suspected of being involved in extreme criminal behavior, it's in your best interest not to rent to them, or that they're violent, or a sexual predator, or whatever. And this is done so the landlord will never rent to them, because they're keeping the homelessness covertly managed and created. They're keeping it constant, is what I'm saying. Now, hold on. If they decide if they decide to get the probate control before they do it, they might say to themselves, okay, well, she's homeless, she gets an apartment and then loses it. We've already got the documentation that she's homeless, because we've staged events at our hiking area for no matter how long, okay? So they already got the falsified police reports and incident reports, okay, showing that you're homeless over the years, because they'll stage events, like say if a target's homeless for 4 years, they'll stage periodic events, like 6 events at her hiking areas within those 6 years, or 4 years. This is so they can get at least 6 police reports or incident reports concerning these events, so they can then say, when they give these police records to the court can say it's got proof of how long the target's been homeless. They also will make statements in these incident police reports that we suspect Miss Williams is mentally ill, because she's claiming she's being stalked by people she don't know. She's claiming that the gang stalking created the homelessness of her. We suspect a mental illness. Now, the incident reports in San Diego, you're not allowed to see unless you subpoena them. The police reports you are. Every police report that I've gotten from San Diego police, 2 of them now, are, wait a minute, is it 2? Yeah, 2. Are completely falsified and facts were omitted. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So, what they do is, over time, is they'll follow you to your hiking area where you sleep at, and they'll stage events like assaults to even motivate the target to call the police, robberies. They'll prop up homeless people to be in the area, so a neighbor will call the cops on them, and then the cops will act like they're stumbling across you. Okay. they'll act like the police are just doing a neighborhood sweep and stumble across you, or that they, you know what they did in November? I was at a specific spot, and I made statements in a tape recorder, because what I was doing was saying, because I know what this shit's all about. Absolutely, I've seen them do it to other women, and they tried to do it to me in Michigan and Connecticut. So, because it's a nationwide syndicate. So, I thought to myself, well, what kind of normal appearing excuses would the police use in order to come to my area so they can then stage these arrests or tickets for illegal lodging? So I made statements in my tape recorder. I said they'll act like they're in the area looking for somebody who's got an arrest warrant, or somebody who's committed a crime, or that the neighbors called the police concerning homeless people being in the area, okay, whether it be me or anybody else, okay? Because they got to make it appear that the police are in your physical proximity for normal appearing reasons and excuses. They'll claim that somebody called them because they saw me and or other homeless people walking into an area or coming out of it. Or what they'll do is even get the property owner of a property the target might be on to inspect the area and act like they're stumbling across the target. This is how connected they are. Make no mistake about it. When you look at how property owners are already involved in these crimes, then all you gotta do is think, okay. Alright? Now, so what they do is that they will work in conjunction with social services. They will work in conjunction with landlords and property owners. They will gang stalk you along all your routes every day, everywhere you go, and stage events including along your routes. I've been assaulted 6 times, okay? And then what they'll do is that they'll keep the homelessness going. They'll keep all real honest crime victim services and benefits away from you, like homeless services, okay? So, and this is because they want to keep the homelessness managed. They want to keep you as destitute as possible as well, okay? Because at the end of the day, basically what they'll do is take an illegal lodging ticket, bring you before a judge, and an absolute complete corrupt public defender who is taking orders from this syndicate in the system. And what they'll do is stand the target before the judge, or the public defender and the prosecutor will do a sidebar with the judge by their bench, which means that she'll get up, the public defender will get up, she'll say, well, what she'll do is she'll say, "Judge, can we have a sidebar?" And her little skanky ass will get up, along with the prosecutor and the judge, and they'll have a sidebar conference right by where the judge sits at. And the public defender will say, "Well, I believe that this person is possibly mentally ill or possibly on drugs, and they're homeless. They won't get out of it. So maybe there's something we could do to assist them to get out of it." So then the judge will order the public defender to give them all kinds of a list of resources. Now, the target individual already knows they'll be gang stalked to the homeless shelter or the low-income housing because they've already experienced it. And the target will also know that the public defender is involved in this because that specific target individual more than likely has got evidence of them being involved in the gang stalking. So who do you think I'm talking about? I suggest you go to that blog. Now, do public defenders and prosecutors and police intentionally, mentally let you know they're involved in this creatively, overtly? Absolutely. Absolutely. And why do you think they do this? Because they know they're dealing with a target individual that knows the entire scope of this whole entire thing. They also know that the target knows that the homelessness is being used for this end result: illegal probate control for federal, state, and local funds, racketeering, insurance fraud, and human trafficking once they're placed in an organized stalking, gang stalking group home, or whatever other environment they try to claim the target needs to be in. Okay? Absolutely. Now, part of the reason why this is done is because the environment that they're put in, the gang stalking will continue, including the harassment. This will be done to provoke the target to act out so they can claim the target's mentally ill, so they can be put in the hospital to get on all different types of psychotropic drugs they do not need to be on at all, okay, for insurance fraud and false diagnoses, okay? Now, the target individual knows that this entire thing was a setup because the public defender and the prosecutor, maybe even the judge, intentionally, mentally let the target know that they're actually involved in this crime by saying possibly gang stalk around them, which is the same harassment that's set along all their routes. Do you understand? See, because in order to wear out a target mentally, because one of the biggest aspects of gang stalking is making sure that the target never, ever relaxes mentally. okay, combined with the physical exhaustion that is involved in constantly moving, combined with the financial assaults of constantly having to replace property that's stolen by them, or that the target has to replace because they can't get to the other property that they dropped off somewhere because they've been banned from a place through a staged event. Do you understand? So basically this is all about breaking the target down mentally, just causing them to absolutely have a mental collapse, mental deterioration, because a person is easily provoked this way during the continued current gang stalking staged events and harassment in any environment. So when it's like saying if you got a neighbor and your neighbor has broken into your house, your other neighbor saw him do it, but the police couldn't catch him. That neighbor then walks by your house every day and will say things for you to hear as your windows open because it's summertime, like, yeah, I got away with it. Yeah, they're fucked up. Yeah, they're crazy. Even though you know the truth about it. It's called gaslighting. So basically what this individual is doing is taunting you about breaking into your home and getting away with it. It's the same exact absolute concept of gang stalking, where they will literally mentally let you know that they're connected to the crime that's happening to you, and then use their employment descriptions to completely destroy what's left of your life, and put you in a place where your food, your drinks, your medication is nothing but date rape drugs. Once you're knocked out, they'll bring men in to have sex with you, videotape it, and sell to pornography groups, group homes, or any other type of environment that they try to put the target in. Okay, absolutely. Racketeering of all forms, because insurance fraud happens because the gang stalking is continued in these homes. Okay, they wait until the target acts out. Even if the target don't, they'll accuse the target of acting out, put them in a hospital, under the guise of, we got to get your medication adjusted because your mental diagnosis that you've been diagnosed with is causing you to act out, even though you're being fucked with day and night non-stop while you suspect you're being raped, while your freedom has been completely stolen, your finances have been co-opted through the probate control, so you don't even have literally a dollar in your pocket, while they stole all your cash and your food stamp card. I'm talking about people that had literally completely taken physical control of you and placed you in an environment so you could be exploited in the worst ways. The gang stalking continues, then they blame you for responding, say that your response is inappropriate, and put you back in a hospital to put you on all different types of psychotropic medications that can cause physical anxiety as part of a side effect and can impair your cognitive thinking. They can put you on medications that can cause you to literally not be able to sit still for a second, because this is where the doctors come in at. Now think about how easy it would be to provoke somebody to act out verbally and maybe even physically that has been a victim of extreme crimes, including rape. The persons that were responsible for it now have legal custody of you, are raping you in these homes, and you know it but can't prove it and can't get out of it, while they have co-opted your finances, Social Security, through the probate control, and while they're periodically petitioning you into the psychiatric ward for insurance fraud. It's nothing but complete mental rape on a daily basis that's intentionally done because the harassment continues. So they make hundreds of thousands of dollars off the insurance fraud through these repetitive repetitioning the target back into the hospital psychiatric floor. Once they get the probate control, they also apply for federal, state, and local funds in the target's name. Okay, and they will also absolutely have the target raped in these homes. And if you don't believe they're not doing this, let me tell you something right now. You'll witness this in the blog that I told you about as well, but I'm going to lead you to it right now. Go to YouTube and type in "stalked in San Antonio." They literally entered 2 women's homes and raped them in their own homes. When you go to that blog, UCSD and Law Library, Are They Networking Gang Stalking? Pay attention to every illustration concerning how stalked in San Antonio is in that blog, because there's absolute evidence concerning how that is connected to me. Not those particular 2 women or Texas, because I've never been in Texas, but just trust me, when you go into the blog, you'll see it, okay? So the point being is that what I do in response to this is I predict what these filthy red-ass animal whores are going to do before they do it. In video files, email files, Instagrams, tweets on Twitter, and then if they do it after I predict it, it'll show the public this is happening to me, and maybe one day, hopefully, a lawyer or a law firm can see these things and maybe even hire a private investigator so they can I live in La Jolla, okay? And they're escalating this right now because they know I've been looking up lawyers and law firms on the internet. Cyber surveillance is a method of these crimes. Go to YouTube and type in gang-stalking bullying on steroids and Google that description as well to see that it is a factual method of theirs. So in other words, they know I got all this evidence that I got because they were the dumbasses that propped up all this identical harassment for me to endure along my routes every day. So they know I got a tape recorder because every single time I've talked to police while they're in my presence, I told them they're being taped. Go to Google and type in police and gang stalking. Okay? So they know I wear a tape recorder. They know I got this evidence because they propped it up around me. So the second I find a lawyer who's not corrupt or a law firm that's not corrupt and show them this evidence, these places can be sued like you would not believe. And the police can be sued for gross negligence of duty pertaining to denying my right to make a police report over 30 times, leaving me in the victimization of this crime until it can achieve its criminal motivation. Absolutely, and they know it. Do you really think that the police being involved in gangs, when you go to Google and you type in the police and gang stalking and you see it's all over the internet, do you really think, okay, that hundreds of thousands of targets of this crime infested all over the United States are telling a lie? I'm getting ready to play you an audio file right now of me being on a specific sidewalk in La Jolla. Do you hear these men say gang stalk? Hold on. Do you hear these two men yell gang stalk together? One says gang stalking, then that same one says gang stalking, I'm gonna F you up. Now they're doing this in order to associate the fear from the threat, gang stalking, I'll fuck you up, to gang stalking by literally repeating the name of the crime as the threat's occurring. Listen. Okay. That event occurred in La Jolla on November 28, 2013. This is me being on a bus in Yucca Valley, California, 11 months before, and Yucca Valley is 169 miles away from where the Thanksgiving event occurred at that you just heard. Okay, I'm waiting for it to come up now. This is individuals on a bus in Yucca Valley, California, bus route Landers, when I went out there for a week. Now that's what's being said along my routes every single day, everywhere I go. Only on a rare occasion they won't do it. Only on a rare occasion. Okay? Now, had the San Diego prosecutors, the San Diego public defenders, been caught on audio files saying these same exact things and more, while my public defender was standing 1 foot away from them, with them, and laughing? Yes. Go to that blog. I got 1,000 audio files in my possessions of these identical words being said around me every day, everywhere I go. Just these two right here prove to you this is happening. 2 separate events, 11 months apart, 160 miles apart. So do you honestly think they're not gang stalking me to my hiking areas? So they can set me up to be arrested for illegal lodging, illegal encroachment, trespassing, yet the police will not take a police report that I'm a gang stalking victim or investigate this criminal reality happening to me. I want you to listen to what I'm saying to you. Hold on. Think about this. I'm an extreme victim of one of the most heinous crimes a human being can experience. I've been taken out of my home, put on the street, victimized every day, assaulted 6 times just in San Diego. Okay. Alright. Yeah, because I was gang stalked in Michigan and Connecticut and another state. It's a nationwide syndicate, and so you can go to Google and type in interstate stalking and gang stalking. This crime is also called organized stalking. So the filthy criminal maggot police, what they'll do to protect their criminal asses and the city and the county from legal liability, what they'll do is make sure that a victim never gets no help, so the crime can continue until the criminal motivation is achieved. Now, when they prop up staged events and like staged when they bring homeless people in the areas where I might be staying at, or go to rest at, or to just go to be by myself for a little while, this shit is staged. Okay, absolutely. That way, they believe it will either psychologically motivate me to get another place, tie me up in the business of constantly moving, to physically wear me out, financially wear me out, okay? And if I'm moving, I'm not looking up lawyers and preparing to go to lawyers to take this evidence to. Do you have any idea, of course you don't, of what I go through in moving? If you just would not believe what I go through just in the moving, let alone getting settled in a place that I can use more than once, whether it be sequentially or rotating hiking areas. You would not believe what I got to go through just to keep my property safe, just to keep myself aware of what's going on in the surroundings concerning them bringing homeless people up in here. Is that why they had he definitely looked homeless on December 2nd. Is that why they used another homeless guy to assault me at the VA? Yeah. That way, see, because you just get assaulted by a homeless person. You've been assaulted by 4 other homeless persons. Do you honestly think that you're not going to be sensitive to homeless people? And maybe even defend yourself? Is that what they want, so they can say you're violent? You remember, they got to have a legal apparent reason to take the probate control. Why did this homeless asshole that they use at the VA claim I took my knife out on him when I didn't? Did they prop up a witness? They knew I'd call the cops because they know why women call the cops when they're assaulted. Do you understand? So what police showed up? UCSD and the VA police. So they let that perp walk. My phone wouldn't boot on when I tried to call 911 until he got away, that's not the only time that's happened. Absolutely. So fellow American citizens, if you ever see me walking around in La Jolla, understand this please and know, because I can look you straight in the eye and tell you, I do not congregate or associate with anybody, especially homeless people. And that means anybody, okay, at all. I don't do drugs, I don't drink, I don't steal, I don't sleep around. I do not do anything illegal. And as far as the illegal lodging goes, I can't get a place because of these filthy whores. Because I know what they're due, I know how they do it, what they're involved in, and in part I've described that in this video. So what the courts will do is the courts will say, well, Leslie, you were offered homeless services, why didn't you take them? Because I already know that even if I got a place or you sent me to a place like a homeless shelter, I'll be gang stalked there after the papers are signed to motivate me to leave. So when you come back at my hiking area, you can say, well, Leslie, we took you to this place, or we sent you to this place and you went there and then you left. Why'd you leave? Because I was gang stalked there. Well, what's gang stalking, Leslie? Tell us what it is. And that's done to get you to relive it. And then they'll say, well, that sounds crazy. Are you crazy? We better get you some mental health help. You understand? That's why they first, before they prop up through the courts, like if a judge says, well, why don't you, public defender, why don't you give her some homeless resources? After the public defender has already mentally associated herself to this campaign. It was their way to form the mental association, so any type of help she would ever look up to give me could not be trusted. So go to that blog, because my Alex McDonald, who's my current public defender, was caught standing 1 foot away from at least 3 prosecutors and 4 public defenders repeating gang stalk, oh my god, gang stalker, and gang stalk, suck my dick. She stood right there with them laughing. They were caught. Is it the only time they've been caught? So I suggest you go to that blog. Would you trust somebody that you absolutely knew was connected to a crime that has committed some of the most heinous things to you that your mind can conceive and not? And when you remember stalked in San Antonio, how they're breaking into women's homes and raping them in their own homes, do you really think that you would trust the place that this filthy bitch would send you to, including the judge? Do you really honestly think that you would trust any environment that people who have already associated themselves to this campaign are trying to send you to? Was that the reason why they formed the mental association to begin with? Because they didn't want you to trust it. That way they can say, well, we offered you these services and you didn't go, therefore you went homeless again and got assaulted or raped or robbed. Therefore, you can't take care of yourself, Miss Williams, so we better take probate control of you. Do you see now? Is this the reason why they formed the mental association? Because they know that you've been a victim of this crime. They know you will not trust them as a result of them being mentally associated to it. Therefore, they know that you will make the choice to stay homeless. Because they know, okay, what you've been through. Why would I spend $2,000 to get a place I know I'm going to lose? That's $2,000 I can keep on me for survival. Or in my bank. Do you understand? Now, this is a nationwide syndicate, which means they know everything that has been done to you, because when a target moves from Michigan to Connecticut, the syndicate that was in Michigan connects and conferences with the syndicate that's in Connecticut, and they're told everything that's been done to a target. When you go from Connecticut to San Diego, the syndicate that was in Connecticut will tell the syndicate in San Diego everything you've been through. So, they know what you've been through as a result of being a target of this crime, because they're literally connected to it anyways. Therefore, they want to make sure that you know they can't be trusted. They're steering your thinking. So they can present in court you were offered these services, but yet didn't take them, even though you didn't take them for healthy choices. Because they want to make you look crazy, and they want to make you look like you can't take care of yourself because of a mental diagnosis.